Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God. This is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, how you doing? On Saturday the 6th of February 2016, I was lucky enough to be able to go to a preview screening of the new Disney film Zootopia. Now Zootopia is called Zootopia in pretty much everywhere in the world apart from Europe. In Europe it's called Zootropolis for some reason. If you want to find out exactly why, watch until the end of the video, because I didn't just get to watch the film, I also got to have a Q&A with the directors of the film, which was so awesome, like just so inspiring. And yeah, I just want to tell you my thoughts about the film. Now Zootopia is basically set in a world where it's just animals live there, there's no human beings. And animals live like human beings, so it's very weird. Animals have jobs, they walk on two legs, and yeah, it's like a full-on like world and city, and yeah, it's very cool. Only mammals though, I have to say. When I say animals, it's not like every single animal in the world. I think the directors mentioned something like 65 species were in the film, which is amazing, but yeah, it's just mammals. And at the heart of the film are two characters, a fox and a rabbit, called Nick, that's the fox, and the rabbit is called Judy. Judy hops, you know, because she's a rabbit and she jumps and hops. Anyway, without giving too much away, the story mainly follows Judy's journey, and she's basically this rabbit she's from this like small town, rabbit town, and she has really big dreams and she wants to do more than what is expected of her and what her parents think she can do. And yeah, basically she wants to be a cop, a police officer, and that's not very like common in their animal world for some reason. I guess because rabbits are quite small and like, you know, are known to be dumb, like, yeah. In any case, she just tries to follow her dreams throughout the film, and a lot of exciting things happen. It's a crazy adventure, like there's so many twists and turns, and at the end what happens is something that you wouldn't have really probably thought of before. Like I definitely didn't guess what was going to happen at the end anyway. The film's got a villain, like pretty much most Disney films do, and I'll be honest with you, I was very surprised when I found out who the villain was. Like I did not guess it, and that's a good thing. But unlike Frozen, in which Hans is a villain, and I'm sorry if I just spoiled Frozen for you, you probably all have seen Frozen by now. Yeah, unlike Frozen, this villain was actually believable. Like I believed this person to be the villain because, you know, it wasn't as much of a shock as Hans was, basically, because I still don't think Hans is a very good villain. Anyway, I don't want to say more about the story itself because I think it's exciting to go into it not knowing much about it, but I just want to tell you that I absolutely love the film. Like, wow guys, it is such a good film. Before going to see this film, I'd seen the trailer, like the very popular trailer with the sloths, which I'll link it down below because you need to watch it because it's absolutely hilarious. I first saw the trailer before I watched, like, can't remember, maybe it was like Brooklyn or something last year in the cinema, and I remember when the trailer came on in the cinema, I was like lolling, like laughing out loud, full on. I was like, this is brilliant. Then I came home and I googled it, like, or YouTubed it really, and I watched the trailer again and I laughed again, and I probably watched the trailer about 20 or 30 times now, and I'm being honest when I say I've laughed out loud every single time. It's such a brilliant trailer with the sloths. But because the trailer was so good, it's not like a typical trailer, it's like just a scene from the film basically. I thought maybe they just put their best material out, and that the film, you know, I had good expectations of the film, but I didn't think it would be as good as it actually was because of how good the trailer was. So I thought, yeah, the trailer's amazing, that's like the best it's gonna get, and the rest of the film's just gonna be just good, not as good as the trailer though. But whoa, I was wrong. The whole film is amazing. There are so many funny moments in the film, like I can't even like remember them all, but it's genius. So many great interactions between animals, so many funny lines, so many great references to like other films, including other Disney films. It's just a very, very clever film. The script for it is fantastic. The jokes are hilarious. The story's great. Everything is great. Now the characters, they are awesome. The fox, Nick, and the rabbit, Judy, they're the two main characters we work with, and both of them are so likable. I mean, Judy hops, obviously, she's like pretty much the main animal in the film, and she's like impossible to not love. But even the fox, because the fox is meant to be like, because foxes are quite sly, aren't they, like a bit deceiving, and even though he's a bit like that and stuff, you still like him. There's something about him that's very charming, and I have to give credit to the actors, the voice actors for these parts. Jason Bateman did Nick Wilde, the fox, who is absolutely hilarious, and then Jennifer Goodwin did Judy Hopps, the rabbit. Incredible voice acting by both of them, like especially Jennifer, she's so good as Judy Hopps. And all the animals in it as well. J.K. Simmons had a part in this film. I did not know, but his voice is in the film and it's so good. It's just so clever, and I'm not normally a big fan of Disney like animal films. The Aristocats, Lady and the Tramp, Fox and the Hound, you know, they're just not my favourite Disney films, they've never been. But this one is just amazing. I will tell you something, it's not as emotional as, say, Big Hero 6. Like Big Hero 6 makes you go on a full-on journey and you like laugh and cry. I didn't cry once at this film, but that doesn't mean that it was just funny. Like, there was still some very touching and emotional moments in the film. They just didn't make me cry, and it's probably because I was just laughing too much about the rest of the film. But overall, it's just a very, very good film. It's quite long as well. I think it was about 2 hours nearly. That's long, like, considering, you know, back in the old days, Disney used to do films that were only like 50 minutes long. Anyway, Shakira, the singer, also has a cameo in the film as an animal, obviously, because everything in this film is an animal. Like, there's no human beings, and that was hilarious. I didn't realize it was Shakira until like the end, and I was like, whoa. But her character's hilarious. Yeah, it's just so fun to watch like animals do what people do, like go to work, and like there's like animal police officers, animal teachers, animal like shopkeepers. Just, it's a world of its own, and it's done so well. The animation, wow, there's so many colors in the film because of all the animals, and it's just so cool to watch. It's so pleasing to the eye. There's so many details in the film. Like, every single moment in the film has been like animated so well with CGI, and it's just crazy how technology's advanced now and how amazing everything's become and how many possibilities there are now for Disney creators. Honestly, I really, really, really love this film, and I recommend it so much. Like, I think it comes out at the end of March in the UK, and if you're a Disney fan, I think you should buy your tickets already and try and go as soon as possible, because you're gonna want to go again. I think it's so good. Also, if you're American, I think in America it comes out on the 6th of March, so a month from today, which is really crazy. Like, I'm so happy and I feel so lucky that I've been able to see a film before Americans have even got to see it, and that's so cool, and I'm just very grateful for it. Now I just have to wait like another month and a half for it to actually be released properly so I can go again and take my family. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you with some footage of my day today when I went to see this film, and the Q&A with the directors, which was honestly so cool. Like, I can't explain to you how amazing it was to be in the same room as two directors who've been a big part of Disney history. We had like a 45-minute session with Rich Moore and Byron Howard, and they're the two directors, by the way. And Byron Howard, something that I learned about him is that he actually used to work in Disney World in Florida, and that's how his Disney career started. So he was working in Disney World and he applied to work at Disney, at the Disney company, like 5 times, and that's when he finally got in. And that's just so inspiring to me, the fact that he didn't give up and he constantly was like, I'm gonna apply again, blah blah blah. And I mean, that's a good thing that he finally got in, because he's so good. He's done other things. He's worked on like, I think, Bolt and like Tangled, I believe. Rich Moore's done Wreck-It Ralph. I mean, they're just both like Disney legends, really. And they were just like casually, as they were doing the Q&A, just like casually mentioning the fact that they like know obviously John Lasseter, and John Lasseter happens to be literally one of the biggest inspirations in my life. I think he's phenomenal. And if you don't know who John Lasseter is, your Disney knowledge needs improving. But yeah, guys, I'll leave you with the clips right now. We're at the Mayfair Hotel. This is Beth. We're about to go and watch a preview screening of Zootopia / Zootropolis. Which one is it? I don't even know which one that name is. I think, yeah, I think it's Zootopia as well, but it says Zootropolis here. Maybe like it's an English versus American version. Maybe it actually is. I don't know. But we're very excited. Today is, what's the date? 6th of February. What are you asking me? 2016. It's a Saturday, and I'm so excited because it's like, the trailers were really fun actually, so I'm really excited. Seeing a Disney film before anyone else. I know, right? So we just finished watching Zootropolis. I loved it. Loved it as well. So good. So funny. So yeah, we've got a half an hour break until the masterclass begins with some of the creators of the film, which is very exciting. I mean, we've got like seats over there. You can probably see it. Yep, that's cool. It's going to be like a Comic-Con sort of thing. Maybe. It's very exciting though. I really want to think of a good question to ask, but who knows? I might not. I'll probably like not do it because I'm scared. It's so like sly, like the fox. You know I am a fox though. Oh my god, because she's Beth Fox. That's so cool. Are you actually sly though? You know? I'm quite sly. You can be. Am I a dumb bunny? Yeah. So this is the sly fox and the dumb bunny. Thanks for that. When you see the film, you'll understand what's going on. Na 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 na, once upon a dream. Guys, I'm just playing like Disney music constantly. How many wonders in one tavern hold? Looking around me. Anyway, it's just so good. I could do this every weekend. Just kind of come and see a new film from Disney. Disney would have to be a bit like release new films all the time, but and I just love the Disney music. Nobody cares, no big deal. I want more. I wanna see him dancing. What do you call it? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs.
It's so great to be here, and I've never been more proud of the team behind making it, and that's really what we want to talk about today. But before we do that, I thought it might be great to take a look back at some of the great cinematic moments from Disney animation.
Here's where it all started. So Disney animation, as you know, you just saw in that lovely animation montage, the Animontage, as we call it, the Animontage. We've got a great legacy of animated animal films, including Bambi, Dumbo, Jungle Book, Lion King. Robin Hood, which is one of my favorites growing up, which also helped to inspire Zootropolis. These are all incredibly funny films, but they're also deeply emotional. So after finishing Tangled 5 years ago with Nathan Greno, I was thinking about different stories I wanted to tell, and I kept coming back to these great animal films from Disney. And so I kept drawing and drawing and drawing animals over and over again of all sorts. I couldn't give up. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't
pull the pencil out of his hand.
Rich said stop, and I said no, I won't. And, so I was going to have savage seas and the savage earth and the savage world, and I had
designed posters.
I did posters
all over his office.
I was so excited, and then I kept pitching it to the Story Trust, which is the directors like Rich and myself and our heads of story and John Lasseter, and I pitched it. And everyone hated the spy thing. They said, this spy thing sucks, get rid of the spy thing.
Hated it. We just
people had seen it. People had seen the spy thing a lot. And they said, well, the spy thing isn't the most interesting thing about the movie. What the most interesting thing about the movie is this first act where all the animals are together in this animal city. And would you consider making that the whole film? And I said, sure. And I threw out the whole spy thing. And then that's when we really started diving into figuring out Zootropolis as it is, and the spy thing sort of morphed into the cop procedural. So when you kind of take the spy genre and contain it to a city that's sort of cops and kind of detectives are that, and that's sort of how it evolved.
The average time of a shot in this film in terms of per second was 100 hours per frame.
Wow.
That's incredible. Now, that doesn't
It's
mean,
real. No,
that's
it's
an average, so it doesn't mean some are down in the 20 or 30 hours per frame. There's 24 frames per second.
that is long. He makes it sound like that.
But one of the interesting things, the technology team is so good about thinking about this, and we're always looking at rendering times. We're thinking about how the throughput of the film is going to take our biggest shots so they're not all coming at the same moment in time. But the really cool thing the studio did a little bit back, and I think it's so smart, is we actually take all of our computers. So even our laptop computers, we can use those to render also. So when we're not using our computers, we have a system set up that actually can tap into those too. And one of the other pieces of it was to make sure that our animation team could actually animate these characters with the fur on. Because when we did Bolt, again, 8 years ago, we couldn't do that, and the silhouette of the characters changes when you don't have the fur. From the beginning, John Lasseter had said to us, you've got to make this movie be like something we haven't seen before, and from a technical standpoint, those were challenges we wanted to be able to tackle.
And I want Rich to tell you a little, this is about increasing complexity of technology.
A still image from Big Hero 6, and it was an aerial shot of the city of San Francisco from that movie. And he said, there is more information in this one frame of Big Hero 6 than the whole movie of Bolt.
Tens of thousands of very rough drawings together. We cut them together, we put the sound on them, we put scratch dialogue on them, which means we intend to throw that dialogue out later. But Mark had boarded that very sensitive moment between Nick and Judy where kind of Judy breaks down and owns up to the fact that she misjudged her friend. And he did these great drawings where it was this little cute shuffle waddling over, and we thought that is so great. And even in storyboards, even when it was just like little black and white drawings, everyone just fell in love with that. And so when the animator, Jen Hager, who's one of our supervisors, took that scene, she made sure to kind of capture that same thing. And animators will all work in different ways. Some of them will film themselves. Some of them, it always helps, like Glenn Keane, great Glenn Keane, who did Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. He's a very big physical guy. He's about getting into your animation and moving yourself around. I think because the more you can not think about this stuff, the more you can feel it, the better your work will be. Like he was doing it with drawings, these guys are doing it with CG. But when you see these animators now, they have such subtlety and nuance. And even in the scene right before that, where Judy breaks down and cries, that's a beautiful performance by Jennifer Goodwin, where she was really crying when she was recording this. And I watched that scene and I tear up because it's so alive.
It's very
real,
genuine, very authentic.
And I can't make myself believe that's not a living, breathing character up there. And so that was animated by Kira Letamaki, another one of our supervisors, and she's an amazing animator. But she'll act it out herself over and over and over again. And when Rich and I
then we
see
review scenes and we'll act them out.
Marshall copyrights that might exist. And in Europe, there are. And so as a result, in Europe, we had to actually change the title. So it's Zootopia around every place in the world except in Europe. And so we thought, well, Zootropolis, that would be the perfect title. And we used that for all of Europe, but there were trademarks in certain countries in Europe where Zootropolis wasn't available. So we have Zootropolis, Zootopia, and Zoomania here in Europe, covering all of Europe.
In Germany, Zoomania.
Yeah. It's actually the hardest.
And it's not the affliction, Zoomania. It's like Romania.
No, they like
You know,
it. They like it. They said, we like Zoomania. It's okay.
And yeah, that is pretty much it. If you've seen the film, leave comments down below and let me know your comments, or if you're just looking forward to the film, also leave comments down below and let me know. Let's just talk about fun things like Disney and Zootopia / Zootropolis, because it's such a good film. Right guys, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!